2014 Toyota Highlander rear brakes. So in this video I got a Highlander. It's the XLE all-wheel drive with the 3.5 liter 2014. Here's what my engine looks like. I'm doing the rear brakes. The tools I used for this was a 14mm, 17mm, 21mm. Here's my part numbers. I have OEM parts, so let's go ahead and get the wheels off. Jack it up safely. I got myself a 21mm socket here, and I'm going to remove the lug nuts. Okay, got the lug nuts out of the way. And on a side note, if your lug nuts get rounded or you need new ones, here's the part number. I'll link new ones below. Now when you have the wheel off, we're going to take this caliper off. There's two 14mm bolts. You could disregard this red air suspension stuff. That's just add-on stuff. Your vehicle probably might not have that. Here's a 14mm bolt. I'm going to use my 14mm wrench, my gear wrench here. I'm going to link this gear wrench set because for this job, this set was perfect as far as like length and stuff goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this loose, but I'm only going to get it halfway loose. I'm going to leave it halfway in, and then I'm going to come to the top. I'm going to remove the top fully. The top one is also a 14mm bolt. Remove that. Now back to the bottom, I'll take this one out, set these aside in a safe spot, and then kind of wiggle and pull this caliper straight backwards. It might be a little tight. And then once I have it off, I'm going to gently swing it over to the top steering knuckle and let it rest over there out of the way. And you know, the line is supported. So now we're going to take these brake pads out. You can use your fingers to get them out, or if you need like something like a flathead or something, you could gently pry them out. Just don't mess up the rotor, you know, don't scratch the rotor or nothing. Set these aside. These are Toyota pads. We're going to be reusing the shims on these. More on that in a moment. Set these aside for now. I'm going to be replacing the rotor. If you're not replacing the rotor, then you could just see the part where I put the pads back in and then put it all back together, I guess. But I'm replacing the rotor, or if you're taking it off to resurface, you got to take the bracket off there. 17mm for the rotor bracket bolts. These bolts will be a little tighter. It's this one and this one. These are the 17mm. Go ahead and get in here with a wrench or a socket, whatever you can. Get them loose and then pull them out. Expect some resistance on these ones, but it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so I go ahead and got my top one loose now. Go ahead and get this guy out. Okay, after that other bolt comes out, we're going to remove this rotor bracket and set it to the side safely. So I got the 4 bolts total set to the side and the bracket. Now when we go to remove this, it might be tough. So thankfully there are these holes right here with threads, right here and right here, so we can run a bolt down. Also, I'm going to show you, check to see if yours spins. If yours spins, then you should be able to slide it off, but if it's stuck, you'll need to adjust the e-brake inside to be able to get this off. Sometimes the e-brake pads, especially at this age, they get so big, or I mean expanded, that the rotor doesn't want to come off. So we're going to remove this rubber grommet, spin this, or try to get it to the very bottom, and then if you look in this hole to the left side, there's a star adjuster type adjuster. It's hard to see, but you're going to adjust that so that the brake pads inside this drum will contract, and then when they contract, you should be able to slide this rotor off easier. Now you might not even need to do this, so try this first. We got these 2 threads right here. We're going to run a bolt, just a common bolt, down these threads right here. And then when you run this down, you're going to push it down a little bit, and then it should push off the hub a certain amount, and then you're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Run it down and just kind of go back and forth. Run it, you know, try not to abuse those threads too bad because they will strip out, but it should push off the hub enough to where you can kind of grab this and wiggle it and pull it off like that. And then here is your emergency brake shoes. But yeah, here's what it looks like, and then inside is where the emergency brake sits. We got an 8.5mm rotor discard as far as the thickness on the disc goes. Now here's your e-brake shoes. These wear out pretty slow. This car has around 100,000 miles and they're still pretty good. So I'm going to clean these off though, because they get dust on them over time. I got myself some 3M 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to clean these pads, just getting like the clumps of brake dust off of them. Over time it builds up and it can make it hard to put on a new rotor, and it can just, you know, make noise over time because it's rubbing. So I'll go ahead and just kind of clean those up, spray it off. Now let's move to the rotor installment. Here's my Toyota OEM number for the part number. This is a Toyota rotor. Highly recommend going OEM if you can. I'll link new parts below. And even Toyotas come with a little bit of packaging grease on the rotor, so we're going to need to clean that off. Got some brake cleaner here and some shop towels. We're going to spray this down with some brake cleaner and use blue shop towels to basically get all the packaging grease off. Depending on aftermarket or whatever, your rotor might not come with packaging grease on it, but most of them do. I'll clean it off just to be safe. I get the rotor on.
Hey guys, real quick, I know it's annoying, but if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'll help me out a lot. I'm trying to reach 100k subs. It costs you nothing, it's free, and it helps me out quite a bit. I also got the hookup with Oxido LED lights. They're the brightest, best LED lights in the game right now. I got a large 15% off promo code at the end of the video, so check that out. Alright, back to the video.
Okay, now that we got the rotor on, let's go to the bracket and get a wire brush and just gently clean all the brake dust and debris off the hardware. And then we're going to take the pins out, clean them off, and put some fresh new brake lube on. I'm using Seal Glide. It's the best in my opinion. I'll link it below as well. Just a light coat on the pins and put them back in. If you're living in like Tennessee or some area where there's a bunch of rust, you might need to take more time to clean these up. But mine are good. I'm going to put this rubber grommet on my new rotor. This was off the old rotor. That's just for your adjuster, like that. Okay, so we got that on. Now we're going to put this rotor bracket back on, slide this over, and then put the two 17mm bolts in. I would just get both of them hand threaded right here, and then once they're both in pretty good, I would tighten them down. I'm going to leave torque specs in the description below, so check for that. And go ahead and use your wrench to get those nice and tight. So mine are tight. Alright, now this is ready for pads to be installed. Let's go see what the pad situation is. So I got Toyota pads. I'm going to switch the shims over to my new pads. This is a part number for the Toyota pads I got. And then here's what they come. They come looking pretty good, but they're bare on top, and that's because I got to switch these metal shims over. And it also comes with a little bit of grease, shim grease, to put between the shim and the new pad. So you take the shims off, and then you're just going to put a little dime size amount of this gray grease onto the back of the pads. You don't need a lot. You really don't want to overdo it. You just need a little bit. And then you put this on. You can bend the tabs on the shims if the shim is just too loose. You can kind of bend the tabs a little bit inward. Put these on. The one with the circle is the inner pad. The one with just the outside wear patterns, that's the outer pad. The brake pads are identical, and so just put the shim on whatever pad you want, and then that's going to be your inner and outer pad. So here they are like this. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of Seal Glide on the edges of the pads, on like the ears of them, just on the edges, just a tad bit, just to help them to slide in better. Some guys don't even do this, but I like to do it because it puts, when I go to put them in, it seems like it puts them in easier. And you're going to slide these in like this. Alright, put those in, and that's how it's supposed to look like right there. And then do the back. Now if you don't want OEM pads, I'll link some aftermarket ones. I know some really good aftermarket ones. I'll link below as well that come with shims already installed. Now before we go put our caliper back on, we need to compress the caliper piston. This is supposed to be totally flush with that part right here. It's sticking out. I got my caliper piston tool I'm going to use to compress this. There are many ways to compress it. You can Google like home ways to do it if you don't have a tool like this. I will link tools below. You don't have to have a big fancy one like me, although it is nice. but you can get one at the local auto parts store, or I'm going to link like a less expensive one on the links below. But we're going to compress this piston. If it's not going in, then it's probably going in crooked, so you just realign your tool, try again. Once it's in, most likely this little boot is going to pop out and look kind of funky. All you do is you kind of just try to lift it up, and so let the air get out that's trapped in there. Just kind of massage it up, and it'll just kind of fall into place. All you got to do is kind of massage it and try to lift it off the seal there for a moment, and then it'll go into the spot it needs to go in, and that's how you do that. Now we'll gently set this over the brake pads and line it up. Be careful not to twist the brake line. This will go over. Make sure the caliper pins don't get in your way. Make sure those are pushed in and your caliper can go over them nicely. Put your bolts in, hand start each side. That's what I'd recommend. And then once you have them in pretty good, use your 14mm wrench to tighten them down. Again, torque specs will be in the description below. This gear wrench set is pretty good for this job because these wrenches are long enough to fit in between the fender wells and give you enough torque to get these bolts loose. So I'll link those below as well. Make sure your brake line's not twisted or nothing. Double check everything. Everything looks good. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
Alright guys, that's all the information I got for you. The rest of the video is just some products and other stuff I got going on. Totally up to you if you want to stick around. Got a 15% off promo code for oxydo.com. They got a handful of products, but what they're mostly known for is their really good aftermarket LED headlights. They've been out a few years now, and at first the lights they had were 200% brighter than regular headlight bulbs. Now they've upgraded the tech this year, and now it's 600% brighter. So if you're in the boonies, the suburbs, the city, I highly recommend you upgrade your bulbs. Nothing wrong with having an old car, but you should get with the times and have bright headlights like everyone else. These bulbs are available on Amazon. However, if you go to the Oxydo website, that's where I could give you a promo code for 15% off. All you got to do is go to the website, type in your year, make, and model. There's basically products for every car out there, and what kind of light you want. They have all kinds of different lights for interior, exterior, headlights, and then you just browse to what you need and you get it. And then at checkout, you're going to type in Guillermo Auto and then hit apply in the coupon code spot, and it'll take 15% off.